Welcome. Welcome everybody to Willoughby City Council's Australia Day celebrations. And we've been entertained this morning from the quartet from Willoughby Symphony Orchestra, and I think they deserve another round of applause. Oh. I'm Deborah Just, the CEO of Willoughby City Council, and it's my pleasure to be part of today's very special event in which we warmly welcome new citizens to Willoughby. We also take this opportunity to recognise outstanding members of our community for their contribution to Willoughby too. To begin today, I'd like you to welcome to the stage, please, the Mayor of Willoughby, Councillor Gail Giles-Gidney.
Good morning everyone and welcome to Willoughby City Council's Australia Day celebrations. And I'm very excited to welcome our Australia Day Ambassador, Ms Amelia Farrugia. Welcome, Amelia. And Amelia is just a dynamite. We're really looking forward to your address later on this morning. Also, Trent Zimmerman, member for North Sydney. Councillors of Willoughby, Deputy Mayor Councillor Craig Campbell, Councillor Wendy Norton, Councillor Tony Mustaka OAM on a night of Italy, Councillor Brendan Zhu, and also Councillor Nick Wright. We have the Venerable Ru Yi and also so many community friends, and we're really pleased to see so many of you here today. Although it does look a little bit strange, I've got to say, from the stage with everyone socially distanced, but these are the times that we live in. So today we've got the Australia Day theme of reflect, respect and celebrate. And today we're here to reflect on our great country, show each member of our city of diversity respect, and celebrate all that it is to be Australian, and of course welcome our very newest Australian citizens. And in order to start official proceedings today, I've got a great deal of pleasure in welcoming Wollongari Kantawara and also the Daimaru Aboriginal Dance and Didgeridoo Group, who will acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional owners of the custodians of the land, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and also welcome our newest citizens today. And this year marks 250 years since Captain Cook arrived in Australia, and that was April this time last year. And it was 8 years later that on this date, the 26th of January, the first fleet arrived. And certainly the impact on our First Nations people has been significant. In some cases, certainly irreversible, and in some cases catastrophic. So I wish to particularly acknowledge the original inhabitants of the land, and I wish to encourage you to reflect on the impact on our First Nations people, the Aboriginal people and their ancestors. The Aboriginal people are a culture of over 60,000 years old, the oldest continuous culture in the world, made up of over 500 different nations, 250 languages and 600 dialects. Today is a day when we can, and indeed we should, pause and reflect on the vital contribution that the Aboriginal people have made and still make to this nation that we now share, Australia. So please welcome Wollongari and the Aboriginal Dance Troupe.
Good morning, Your Worship, Mayor Giles-Gidney, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I would first like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the Gadigal clan of the Eora Nation, on whose land this ceremony is being held. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Welcome to all of you here who will become Australian citizens today. I hope you make lots of Aboriginal friends. Australia's cultural diversity is what makes this the lucky country. And as a great nation should be, let's show compassion and give shelter to those who are less fortunate. Good luck to you all. Was, is, always will be Aboriginal land.
Oh, awa, 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 awa. Hey! That was our blessing the country first before we perform. When we enter a country, we always bless the ground to take away all the negative energy in the land. And this next song I'll sing, Muri Umpunji, talks about bringing in all the good spirit into our lives and take away all the bad energy out of people, whether they're sick or happy or sad times. This song is for you guys, yeah? Muri Umpunji. Where I'm funded, and mana tana akala la la ina. Where I'm funded, and mana tana akala la la ina. Eh, where I'm funded, and mana tana akala la la ina. Where I'm funded, and mana tana akala la la ina. Pick up, pick up. Eh, where I'm funded, and mana tana akala la la ina. Eh, what are you going to This next one I'll sing for you and my brother about the biggest bird, flightless birds in the country. It's called the emu. Now, in the northern part of country, we have the cassowary in the rainforest. The cassowary people, they'll sing this song, paying respect to the emu. This one is Faragia. This is done without the iriki and with a vocal voice only. Not all indigenous songs are done with this instrument here. This is one of them. Tarakala tara male male ma tarakala tara male male ma rakamo tara male male ma tarak tarakala tara male male ma tarakala tara male male ma rakamo tara male male ma tarak brr 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 pick up ma tarakala tara male male ma tarakala tara male male ma rakamo tara male male ma tarak tarakala tara male male ma tarakala tara male male ma rakamo tara male male ma tarak brr 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 pick up. Now the next song, sung in two different dialects, Kakadu and Cook County dialects from the north. We call Ugadanti, Majaba in English. I won't tell you what it is. We'll see if you can guess this one, yeah? Ugadandi, Majama, Ugadandi, Majama. English. English. Ugadandi, Majama, Ugadandi, Majama. 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 Ugadandi, Majama, Ugadandi, Majama. One question. Did you guess that one? That's Ugadanti Majama, kangaroo, correct.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Have a great Australia Day. My name is Willoughby. We are touring the Aboriginal dance didgeridoo. Take care, God bless, we'll see you again another day.
Thank you. Thank you, Wollongari. Thank you, Wollongari and Les and Jean from the Daimaru Dance Company. And of course, Wollongari is very well known to many of us here at Willoughby City Council. He often performs at our events. He's quite an inspiration. Every time I talk to him, I'm finding about new things that he's doing. The latest is taking tours to Alice Spring to have a cultural experience. He's putting on a art exhibition in this coming year. And then he said tonight he's launching his new album at the Lazy Bones in Marrickville if you're keen to go and have a look. So we do very much appreciate him coming along. As I mentioned, the Australia Day theme this year is Reflect, Respect, Celebrate. And boy, what a time we've been having of it. This time last year, we were in an overwhelming bushfire season, our city blanketed in smoke. And how many, like me, were showering with a bucket in their shower? It seems extraordinary that I was collecting water to water the garden, and given the pandemic and recent rains, it seems almost surreal. We reflect on a year of change and upheaval as one that has been a challenge for our community, economically, socially, and in every conceivable way. We've made changes to the way we live and in ways we could never have contemplated a year ago. But there has also been many discoveries, opportunities, and indeed triumphs. We've seen the importance of our healthcare system and frontline staff in hospitals being more important than ever before. We've seen challenges in education and teachers step up, as well as the students, in very trying circumstances. Businesses have innovated. We've seen our leaders take fast and decisive action to keep us safe. And we've seen everyday Australians, neighbours, friends, families and colleagues make sacrifices to keep us all safe. We've sacrificed parties, barbecues, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings and many other celebrations. I've dialed in to too many Zoom funerals. But we have pulled together as a community and demonstrated resilience like I've never seen before. I've seen locally right here and every day in the past year, and I'm deeply touched by our kind and caring community. For example, community groups that have supported their members by switching to online activities to simply keep in touch and reach out. Who knew you could do choir rehearsals via Zoom? At Willoughby Council, we continue to deliver meals on wheels and support the elderly with home services. Do you remember Toilet Paper Gate? Yes, Meals on Wheels adapted delivering toilet paper and hand sanitisers, which all became essential items. Many of us have spent a lot of time apart from loved ones this year, and indeed it's been a year since I've seen my elderly mother in Perth. But I'm in constant awe of her spirit, and indeed the spirit of so many resilient Australians who have said, we're all in this together, we all will do what we have to do, and we will keep everyone safe. It hasn't been about personal interest, it's been about the greater good and the broader community, and I have seen this time and time again. The element of respect has been highlighted in many different ways this past year. We've respected and taken advice of medical professionals. We've respected the rules, even when we didn't want to, or they caused us great inconvenience. We've also respected personal space and respected each person's response to extraordinary circumstances and an acceptance of our new world. And this respect indeed has permeated over time with our community. We've respected that regardless of where you come from, the faith we follow, or the language we grew up speaking, we all have a contribution to make to help us bring us through this year and beyond. And now it's time to celebrate perhaps the most important thing after the year that we've had. We celebrate our nation's place in the world, a proud, ancient, multicultural nation built on shared values that allow us to enjoy the freedom, democracy, and opportunities that other nations aspire to. And we celebrate our successes over the past year and realise how fortunate we are to be in Australia. Considering how other countries continue to struggle with the virus, we've seen other nations falter and splinter, but we remain strong. Indeed, there have been challenges, but there is much to celebrate. During the past year, I can think of no other place I would rather be. So reflect, respect, celebrate. Today, as we welcome our newest Australians, I ask the new Australians to reflect. What was it that brought you to this country? What has it given you? And what can you give back? There are so many opportunities to contribute. Volunteering, there's even local government elections in September. And just so you're aware, 4 of our current councillors were born overseas. I encourage you to respect each other, no matter your background. Try to see things from other perspectives. Welcome alternate points of view, different ways of doing things. Open yourselves up and you might just find better ways about thinking about things, or just simply the way you live. And finally, celebrate. There's so much to celebrate. Being made an Australian today is one. Celebrate that we are able to gather in this way today and that we are in a country that is relatively virus-free. So my challenge to all of you today, and this is not only the newest Australians, but to everyone, is to make the very best of the opportunity that this wonderful country gives you. Please don't waste it. So today, of all days, reflect, respect, and celebrate. I've now got a great deal of pleasure in welcoming our Australia Day Ambassador. National Australia Day Council and the Australia Day Council of New South Wales proudly sponsors the Australia Day Ambassador Program. The National Council has also provided funds to this year's event as part of their COVID Safe Grant and is helping us and communities in Australia to run safe events. And it is with a great deal of pleasure I introduce our 2021 Australia Day Ambassador, Amelia Farrugia. Now, I have a long list of achievements from Amelia, and we are so deeply honoured that she has joined us today. Amelia is regarded as one of the brightest stars in Opera Australia. In fact, she casually mentioned to me she was made a principal at the early age of 24, one of the youngest, I believe. She's had a highly successful career and varied Australian and international performances in opera, music theatre, symphony concert, recital, corporate events, large-scale outdoor events, recording and television. She graduated from the Sydney Conservatorium of Music with a Bachelor of Music Education and a high distinction in voice. Throughout her career, she's won many major singing competitions in Australia and overseas. New York, City of Sydney, the Sun Herald Aria in Melbourne, recipient of the Martin Bequest Travelling Scholarship. And in 2001, Amelia represented her country and competed in the nationally televised finals of the International Singing Concert New Voices in Germany. Her auspicious debut soling recording, Joy de Vivre, was released by Universal Music in Australia in 2005, and she recorded it in the UK with the BBC Symphony Orchestra, and it was nominated for a Classical ARIA Award in 2006. She's in high demand as a concert artist, having appeared with many Australian and international philharmonic orchestras. And in 2017, Amelia appeared with the world premiere of Diva at the City Recital Hall in Sydney, an uplifting celebration of the great Australian divas. And this year, Amelia will be performing with renowned Maltese tenor, and I believe you've got Maltese roots as well, Joseph Kalia. So please welcome Amelia to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Gail Giles-Gidney, for those beautiful words and introduction. It is a joy for me to be here today. I'd like to, of course, welcome Mr. Trent Zimmerman, the member for North Sydney, Councillors of Willoughby, CEO of Willoughby City Council, Deborah Just, VIPs, citizen candidates, volunteers, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, babies. Yes, you too. The Council of Willoughby acknowledges the traditional owners of this land, the Aboriginal people. That was an extraordinary performance. And I thought the last one was about the blowflies. Wasn't sure about the kangaroo. Happy Australia Day, everyone. My name is Amelia Farrugia, and I'm the Australia Day Ambassador. This is a long-running and successful program. I was asked to be an ambassador after becoming the Young Achiever of the Year for New South Wales in 1996. Yes, I'm getting old. I've had an exciting and rewarding international opera career. I suppose we heard about it before. The highlight of which was working for the Metropolitan Opera in New York. After singing for 20 years as a principal artist with Opera Australia, I set up a teaching business called Sydney Sings. Ironically, my Maltese grandfather, Nannu, helped to build the Sydney Opera House. He was a carpenter, and that's where I had the great privilege of performing. My family are Maltese immigrants. Like thousands of others, they came to Australia by boat. I don't think there was any swimming involved. I am forever grateful that they did. They made the life-changing decision to live in a vast and beautiful continent offering a world of opportunity. In Australia, my family was able to thrive and grow, achieving remarkable results in higher education. It's an honour to be standing here today amongst an incredible group of new citizens. I'd like to offer my warmest congratulations to all of those who have chosen to call Australia home. I've no doubt that it's been an intense and difficult journey, especially over the past year, but we welcome you with open arms and thank you for bringing your gifts and talents to our nation. Over the past year, our beautiful country has faced fire, flood, drought, and the coronavirus pandemic. As the Mayor said before, Australia has fared a lot better than a lot of the world, and we are grateful to be here. On Australia Day 2021, we reflect on the selfless and courageous sacrifice of thousands of first responders and frontline workers who put the safety and well-being of others before their own. We reflect on the resilience of communities and the spirit of helping, giving and supporting others. We pay respect to the stories, histories and contributions of all Australians especially those who gave so much over the past year. Australians share a unique set of values that define and unite us. Values based on the spirit of community, selflessness, courage, and resilience. I'm sure you've all heard of the phrase, a fair go. In Australia, we like to give each other a fair go. Australia Day is an opportunity to renew our commitment to the values that shape and strengthen us. We acknowledge the contribution that everyone makes, from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who have lived here for 65,000 years, to our newest citizens who have chosen to call Australia home. Australia Day gives us a chance to reflect on what's great about our country and our people, particularly our strong sense of community in times of crisis. Today is a chance to celebrate the Aussie spirit and honour and support those who are facing extraordinary hardship. There are many ways to participate in Australia Day. We encourage everyone to mark the day in a way that's right for them. The essence of this day is about coming together as a community, whether that's gathering with family and friends, sharing stories, listening to our neighbours, or attending one of the many community events. We each have a role to play, whether it's reaching out to our isolated and vulnerable neighbours, supporting regional communities now and beyond the bushfires and floods and droughts, volunteering and donating to hard-working organisations. We can all do something. Australia Day is a time for inclusion and an opportunity for greater understanding. Regardless of our origins, it's a day for Australians from all backgrounds and communities to come together to share our stories, embrace our diversity, and celebrate our unity. We celebrate our nation's place in the world, a proud, ancient, multicultural nation built on shared values that allow us to enjoy the freedoms and opportunities that other nations aspire to. We celebrate country and how the land and sky defines our Australian identity, from the salt water to the fresh water, from the rainforest to the desert. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amelia. What a fantastic ambassador you are, and congratulations on all your achievements. We do have a small presentation for you, an official ambassador pin and certificate, and a couple of other little goodies from us, so thank you. And we do need to be, I would shake your hand and give you a hug normally, but in a COVID-safe way, we have to do it this way. But thank you so much, Amelia. We really appreciate your being here. As you know, the Premier, the Honourable Gladys Berejiklian MP, member for Willoughby and Premier of New South Wales, usually attends these ceremonies, but today, unfortunately, she's not able to attend a number of different ceremonies, and unfortunately, COVID-safe practices have put in an extra layer of time commitment. She did write to me personally, however, saying that she was very disappointed to miss this year's event. And she did ask me to share a personal message to our new Australian Day citizens in particular. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to our new Australian citizens and welcome you to the city of Willoughby. This is an extremely proud moment for you and your families, and we thank you for taking this important step. Australia welcomes people of all cultures and backgrounds and invites you to join us in celebrating the values of our nation, enjoying our freedoms and respecting all of our rights and responsibilities. Again, welcome and congratulations on this important occasion. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the local Australia Day award recipients for the significant personal contribution you have made to our community. A very happy Australia Day, everyone. Yours faithfully, Gladys Berejiklian MP, member for Willoughby and New South Wales Premier. And I know that you will share my very good wishes to Gladys. I did write back to her personally saying how much we appreciate the extraordinary effort that she has gone to on behalf of our community. The drought, then we just thought she was going to get a break, and then the COVID thing hit. So we do appreciate all of her efforts that she does, not only for our state, but right here in the city of Willoughby as well. We are very honoured, however, to have another special guest, someone who works extremely hard for our community and particularly in the last year has really had to step up. I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. Trent Zimmerman, the member for North Sydney, and he is going to address us all today. Thank you, Trent.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and it is a pleasure to be here today. But I have to say, after the Mayor's and Amelia Farrugia's fantastic speeches, I think that virtually everything that needs to be said has been said, but I'm a politician, so I'm sure I'll find something to say. But I have to say that being here is something that is a matter for me of both trepidation and excitement. Trepidation because one of the very first things that I did when I was elected as a Member of Parliament was to make the mistake of agreeing to participate in a local charity dancing competition, which was held at the Concourse here. And I've been scarred ever since every time I come through the doors. Particularly scarred because I came last in that competition. So you won't be getting a rendition of my performance. The Mayor, however, did a lot better, so maybe we can call on her to do her routine a little bit later. But I'm also excited to be here because, to be honest, probably since Australia Day last year, this is the largest gathering at a local event that I have been able to attend in the last 12 months for the obvious reasons. And even though we're all masked up, it is so exciting to see real faces rather than on a screen. And boy, aren't we learning to smile and laugh with our eyes just at the moment, which is a great thing as well. I too want to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And on Australia Day and in a citizenship, it is particularly important that we do so and reflect on the fact that we are home to the oldest continuous culture on the planet. And that is something that we are and should be very proud of. Because on Australia Day, it is worthwhile never forgetting that we are a nation both young and ancient. And the continuum of the extraordinary culture of this continent dates back not just 230 years, but in fact 65,000 years. But today we come together to think about our success as a nation. We reflect on all of those things that have made us the great nation that we are. We also reflect on the mistakes that we have made and some of those darker chapters in our history that the Mayor spoke of earlier. Because no nation can progress and succeed unless it learns from those mistakes. And that is something that we as Australians must continue to strive to do. But we have been able to forge a nation where the ledger of success is extraordinarily phenomenal. We are a society that is prosperous, that is free, that is democratic, that is egalitarian, that provides people with extraordinary opportunities. And the last 12 months have been a very clear reminder of those successes and those wonderful features of Australians that make us who and what we are. For it was simply 12 months and 1 day ago that we first saw the coronavirus, COVID-19, found in someone in Australia. And what an extraordinary 12 months that has been. For so many people, it's meant unemployment, it's meant businesses in distress, sometimes closing. It's meant that for people like Amelia in the arts sector, that these stages have been closed and much of our cultural life was put on hold. It is meant for many of you in this room today, I know, but for so many people across our state in which something like 40% were born or have parents born overseas, a separation from those that we love most, often on the other side of the world, which we could endure for a year, but I know as we enter a second year, is becoming harder and harder as we're not able to see those that we love during often very important milestones of their own lives. But we can just be so proud of the way as a nation we have responded, because it is fair to say that alongside our brothers and sisters across the Tasman in New Zealand, there really is no other place in the world that you would rather have been over the last 12 months. And in fact, I was reminded of that just a week ago. I was down in Canberra and I was at an event with 30 ambassadors from every corner of the planet. And to the last man and woman, they came back up to me and said, Trent, we are just so grateful that we were posted to Australia during the last 12 months. Now, I have to say it's very unusual to hear that people would prefer to be in Canberra than anywhere else in the world. But such was the momentous nature of the way in which Australians and our governments have responded, that was their sentiment. They were almost emotional in expressing their awe of what we've been able to achieve. And we have done that because of those very fundamental Australian traits that do make us who we are. The fact that we have been prepared to lend a hand to others in need, something that the Mayor and I have seen so often in our local communities. The fact that we have followed the clear and sound advice of our incredible health workers and scientists and experts. The fact that we have been able to rally together. And as we celebrate this Australia Day, we only need look at the way in which we've responded over the last 12 months to realise why we are such a great country. But the other aspect of Australia, which I think is our equally important success, is the wonderful multicultural society that we've created. In fact, I think it's our biggest success. And it's therefore no accident that on Australia Day, across 430 events such as these, we will be welcoming 12,000 new Australian citizens, because that's really at the heart of the Australian story and the heart of what we're about. And so I want to say to all of you who are taking the Citizenship Pledge today that you are joining a nation in which your values and ideals and dreams are respected. And that's fundamentally what we are about, respecting each other, respecting those things that make our nation what it is, the democracy, the rule of law, but importantly, respecting each other's own values, dreams and aspirations. And that's what has allowed us to create the wonderful multicultural society that we have. All of you will have come here with different reasons. Some of you for better work opportunities, some to join family, some maybe fleeing difficult parts of the world. Some of you might even fell in love in Australia, and I hope that there are a few of you in that category. But I always tell this story because thankfully at one of the first citizenship ceremonies I went to, I went up to a gentleman who was about to take his pledge and he said, "Why did you pick Australia?" And he said straight away, "Because Lord of the Rings is my favourite movie and I love the scenery." And I thought, oh, holy hell, do I tell him that he's come to the wrong country just before he's about to take the citizenship pledge? But he went on to say that he was on his way to New Zealand and stopped in Sydney and realised he didn't need to go any further to make the life that he wanted for him and his family. And of course, with lots of respect to our Kiwi cousins, he definitely made the right decision. So can I just conclude by saying that for whatever reason you've chosen Australia, I hope it fulfills your aspirations as citizens. But I certainly know that it is in fact Australia that is the richer for your decision today. And on behalf of the Australian Parliament, I just simply want to say thank you for joining the Australian family. Enjoy Happy Australia Day.
Thank you so much, Trent. And we do have a small gesture of our appreciation for you coming along today. Thank you very much. And we'll ask... So Trent will now be staying on the stage, and I would also invite Amelia up too, because we're about to head into a very exciting part of the program, and that is the introduction of the local awards. And these awards recognise the service and achievements of individual members of the Willoughby community nominated by members of our community. First of all, the Young Citizen of the Year Award. This award recognises a young person who has demonstrated significant achievement in any field, including academics, sports, arts, business or community. Our 2021 winner is Brooke Allen. And I'd ask that Brooke please make her to the stage. I've got quite a bit to read out about Brooke. So while she's coming down. Brooke is a cadet leader with St John Ambulance, New South Wales, Harbourside, combined division based here in Chatswood. Her role in the division is as a trainer and mentor for cadets aged 12 to 17 years. Brooke prepares and delivers first aid training to the cadets and also trains the adults in specialist subjects such as mental health first aid. During the bushfire season, she completed 250 hours service, comprising of 11 days on a 24-hour roster, providing first aid to the RFS volunteers and local community members. During this time, she worked as the RFS stations and was available not only to provide first aid, but also to listen to the concerns of the volunteers. She was nominated and received a bronze commendation for her work with a teenager who was threatening to take his own life. She spoke at length to the teenager and convinced him that help was available. She listened to his concerns and eventually convinced him to go to hospital. Brooke was awarded the Regional Cadet Leader of the Year and was recently announced as the Upper North Shore Leader of the Year too. And now she can include Willoughby Young Citizen of the Year to these accolades also. Brooke, congratulations on all of your achievements. Thank you so much, Brooke, for all that you've done. Our next award is for the Environmental Citizen of the Year. This award recognises individuals or organisations championing litter reduction or environmental initiatives in the local community and preserving the environment. The award recipient is very well known to me, and I've got to say I'm absolutely delighted by this award. The award is presented to Kevin Mathers. Congratulations, Kevin. As Kevin makes his way through, it looks like the cheer squad's there with you, Kevin. I can say that I know firsthand that Kevin has worked in bushlands across Willoughby for decades. And he's been a volunteer and a bush regenerator in many bush care and park care groups. Some of the local bushland areas he's worked on that you may have had the chance to enjoy are Park Avenue, Harold Reed, Butt Park, Ferndale Park, Highland Ridge and also Heights Crescent. At 88, Kevin continues to work in the Willoughby bushland, which he loves and cares for so much. He's got an immense knowledge of around 20 or so bush sites and is a keen photographer, and he's documented the amazing changes produced by very hard and persistent and continuous work that have turned vast areas of vine-strangled bushland into the beautiful sites that we enjoy today. So Kevin, congratulations and thanks on behalf of the City of Willoughby. Well done, Kevin. And our last award for today is the Citizen of the Year Award. This award recognises community members that contribute significantly to the betterment of our Willoughby community. This award is given to a person who is outstanding in the field of community services, including welfare, volunteer work, charity, arts or sports, and has made a lasting and significant difference to the quality of life in our community. The 2021 Citizen of the Year is Keith Anderson. I'm hoping that Keith will make his way down while I acknowledge the significant contribution that he has made to our community over so many years. Keith has dedicated an enormous amount of time and energy to the Artarmon Progress Association, a community-based organisation since 1998. Keith has held numerous roles in the Association's Executive Committee, including Vice President from 1998 to 2001 and President from 2001 to 2004. Keith continues to be actively involved in the Progress Association, and I can attest to that because every time I go to a meeting, Keith is there asking the hard questions, and he contributes and inputs to the association's submissions, delivering copies of the Artarmon Gazette to households and businesses in the local area, reading council communiques, and also attending committee and public meetings. He's now in his 80s, and his dedication and passion for the community and involvement in local issues has not waned, including his interest in community amenities, traffic and development matters, and by giving quality and wise input to others who now carry the mantle of the community vigilance. Keith's significant contribution has had a wonderful impact on Artarmon, and his ongoing commitment to the Artarmon Progress Association has helped to maintain its vibrant executive community and strong advocacy on the many issues that impact the area. So congratulations, Keith, and thank you for everything you do for Willoughby City Council. So thank you very much to all of our award recipients. The efforts that you go to on a volunteer basis certainly make Willoughby, or help make Willoughby, the special place that it is to live. And I also want to recognise those people that went to the effort, of course, of nominating those very worthy recipients. And now we're going to have a very special performance from two very special ladies from Apia, and it is a performance of I Still Call Australia Home. Welcome. Thank you so much. That was Charlotte and Susanna Donlan from the Australian Institute of the Performing Arts, a group based right here in Artarmon, and they'll be back with us for another performance at the end of the ceremony. Now, one of the great honours that I have as Mayor of the City of Willoughby is to conduct a citizenship ceremony. Those of you that know me know how much I love this. And I also recognise, for many of you, this is the culmination of a very long journey. A day of great significance, and it seems that everyone has a story to tell about the day that they were made an Australian citizen. So I do thank you for sharing this very special day with us. And before we go into the official proceedings, I have a message from the Minister for Immigration, Citizenship, Migrant Services and Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable Alex Hawke, MP. Today you become an Australian citizen. We are immensely proud of what we have achieved as a nation, and we welcome you in joining us. Our history and culture has been forged over thousands of years, first through Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and more recently with people from all corners of the earth. Australia has succeeded as a nation by embracing and defending our national values. We believe in freedom, in the rule of law, in democracy. We believe that all people are equal, regardless of their cultural background, gender, race, or religion. We are a resilient nation. We've overcome world wars, depression, drought, and floods. We stand with other strong democracies in helping defend and protect our hard-fought freedoms. By committing yourself to Australia today, you've chosen to embrace our nation and its values. Like so many millions of people throughout our history, you've decided to take on the rights and responsibilities of Australian citizenship. On behalf of the Australian Government, I congratulate you on reaching this very special day. It is now your responsibility to join all of us in building an even stronger nation. And that is the end of the message from the Honourable Alex Hawke, MP. And I'll move to the formal part of the citizenship ceremony where I make you all the newest Australians. And I do need to say this word for word. This citizenship ceremony is conducted under the authority for the Minister for Immigration and Border Protection and is prescribed by the Australian Citizenship Act 2007. As presiding officer, I have been approved under the Act to administer the Pledge of Commitment as a citizen of the Commonwealth of Australia, which is the final step to you becoming an Australian citizen. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia, and Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians, and for me this is the important part, while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, and by sharing their democratic beliefs, and by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. So I'm now going to ask those candidates who are taking Pledge 1, and that is if you are holding the card with the yellow dot, can you please stand? Just make sure we've got everyone with the yellow dots standing. And we do ask you, unusually, to keep your masks on if you've got them. And I would ask you to repeat the words of the oath after me line by line. Now, because you do have the masks on, be loud and proud. You're about to become an Australian with big, loud voice, please. From this time forward, under God, big, loud voices, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Give them a big round of applause, everyone. They're now Australian citizens. Congratulations, please be seated. I'd now ask the candidates that are taking Pledge 2, so that's the card with the blue dot, if you can now please stand. And a big loud voice, please, if you can repeat after me. From this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Big round of applause. You are now Australian citizens. Congratulations. Now, this is a bit of an unusual ceremony in that due to COVID safety, you've already been given your citizen certificates ahead of time, and also your wonderful gift bag that has been funded by the National Australia Day Council Grant Fund. Lovely little plant, I believe. Thank you, Bibiana Chan, for that. Now, I'll just ask you at this stage if you can please take the certificate out of your envelope. We are all going to get you up individually to have a photograph, and we will be emailing that photograph to you at the conclusion of the ceremony. And I did introduce our very hardworking, lovely councillors who are here with us today, and we will be inviting you up by wards to have a photograph with your certificate, me and your local ward councillor who is in attendance. We would ask that you do be careful about social distancing and that family groups can stand together, and you are permitted to take your face masks off for the photograph. And I would ask, please, if Councillor Nick Wright from Naremburn Ward could now join me on the stage in the first group, and the new citizens from Naremburn Ward, who will be directed by our event staff, will bring you on stage. And during the citizenship photos, the Willoughby Symphony String Quartet will be performing to accompany a video of life in Willoughby, and our official photographer will be taking those photos that we will be emailing to you. There is also the opportunity for families and friends to have photos at the end of the ceremony in the foyer, so up here. And I would like to now welcome the Willoughby City Council CEO, Deborah Just, to return to the stage, as she will be inviting the next lot of ward councillors to come on the stage with the candidates. So thank you, Councillor Wright, for joining me.
So if we could please welcome those new citizens from the Naremburn Ward on stage. Thank you. I now invite our newest citizens from the Middle Harbour ward and the councillors from that ward, please, to come up to the stage. Councillors from West Ward. That's all right. They're queuing. We're now welcoming our last group on stage from Sailors Bay Ward. So if the councillors and our newest citizens from Sailors Bay Ward can make their way to the stage, please.
Willoughby Symphony Quartet, thank you so much. It's been beautiful. So congratulations to all of our brand new citizens. You can probably see why this is one of the most favourite parts of my job, just seeing the faces come up so proud as they become Australian citizens. It's just beautiful. And I'm now going to invite all of you to take up the opportunity to make an Australia Day affirmation. And if you're not an Australian citizen and you wish to join us, all you need to do is please leave out the first line, as an Australian citizen. You'll be able to follow the words in the program, and I would ask that you stand to do this, but keep your masks on, please. So if we can all stand for the Australia Day affirmation. As an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I uphold and obey. Thank you very much for being a participant in this very special ceremony today. Next we have Charlotte and Susanna back with us from APIA, and they're going to perform for us two songs. Now APIA are a local performing arts group that's been running for over 20 years. As I mentioned before, they're based in Artarmon and they have courses in singing, dancing and all things theatre. And as Trent mentioned, of course, the arts have suffered badly during this last year, so we're so excited to have members of APIA with us to delight us with their talent today. So please welcome them. They're going to perform I'm Australian, and then with the National Anthem that they sing, I would ask you all to stand, but unfortunately we can't sing together, but certainly you can follow the words in your program. Welcome Charlotte and Susanna.
The dusty red soil plains, I am the ancient heart, the keeper of the flame. I stood upon the rocky shore, I watched the tall ships come, for 1,000 years I've been the first Australian. I came upon a present ship, bowed down by in chains. I fought the land, endured the lash, and waited for the rains. I'm a settler, I'm a farmer's wife on a dry and barren run. A convict, then a free man, I became Australian. We are one, but we are many, and from all the lands on earth we come. We share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australia. I'm a teller of stories, I'm a singer of songs. I am Albert Namatjira, and I paint the ghostly gums. I am Clancy on his horse, I'm Ned Kelly on the run. I'm the one who wants Matilda, I am Australian. I'm the hot wind from the desert, I'm the black soil of the plains. I'm the mountains and the valleys, I'm the drought and flooding rains. I am the rock, I am the sky, the rivers when they run. The spirit of this great land, I am Australian. We are one, but we are many, and from all the lands on earth we come. We share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. We are one, but we are many, and from all the lands on earth we come. We share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. I am, you are, we are Australian.
If we could all now stand for the National Anthem, please.
Australians all, let us rejoice, for we are
Thank you so much. Thank you, Charlotte and Susanna. That was absolutely beautiful, quite moving. I got a bit tingly when they were singing that. And thank you also to the Willoughby Symphony String Quartet. We really appreciate you being here today. Good news is that this is bringing to the close of this wonderful ceremony we've had today. Big shout out to Amelia. Thank you for that beautiful address. Really appreciate you being here. I wish you were up here singing though, that would have been nice. And also Trent Zimmerman MP, thank you for all the work that you do. We know that you're in the hot seat at the moment, but we appreciate the way that you're really stepping up and supporting our community. The councillors that came today, thank you for your attendance as well. Lovely to see you here. We'll be back to it before you know it. I think Monday we've got our first briefing. CEO Deborah Just, thank you for all the work that you do. The events team, of course, you can imagine pulling together an event like this in a COVID-safe way in a rapidly changing environment is not easy. Can we give the event staff a bit of a round of applause? Thank you very much for all that you do. Lovely to see so many community members here, Venerable Ruyi and also her wonderful BLIA supporters. Thank you for being here. Our many community members, and it wouldn't be the same without you. And I think even though it's been a COVID-safe event, we've managed to make it meaningful. And of course, our wonderful award recipients. I was so pleased when those nominations came to the committee, and all very worthwhile. Brooke, Kevin and Keith, congratulations to you. And of course, congratulations to our newest Australians. I hope you've got a big celebration planned for today, and also that you've taken on board the advice that we all gave you about making the most of the opportunities in this wonderful country. The good thing about today is that we've got a free lunch, which is great. In a COVID-safe way, you're able to collect your lunches. There are gluten-free and vegetarian options available, as well as some drinks to take with you. Encourage you in a COVID-safe way, perhaps picnic up here or take them home. If you are taking photos upstairs in the foyer or any other photos you might like to share, tag me on Facebook or Instagram. Use the hashtag Australia Day Chatswood so we can all share those photos. It would be fantastic. So do have a great Australia Day. Remember, reflect, respect and celebrate we will. Congratulations once again. Thank you.